So what you're looking at here, these are the parts to make a bicycle thumb piano. So we have here 2 offcuts of pine wood, quite an easy thing to buy from your local wood merchant. These are 2 fabricated bits of a bicycle rim, cut down. Got 2 6mm bolts that are 16 centimetres in length. This is the hub, the central part of the wheel from a bicycle. So I have 2 bog standard screws, and then here you have 4 spokes, so cut from a bicycle and cut down to different lengths. The only tools you will need will be a Phillips crosshead screwdriver, an 11mm spanner, and this is a cone spanner. Okay, so you have your piece of wood here. We've drilled it out, central hole, which is going to be for the axle for the hub, 2 holes here for bolts that will pop through. The only thing really you need to take care of with a piece of wood is to ensure that the width of it, we've got a width that's about 1 inch for this particular project, because we want the axle to be able to fit through and bolt on, and that's most bikes, most bike hubs, it's broadly about this length. So the width of this one again is about 4 inches, and we've cut it there to about 9.5 inches. So you've got your hub, so that's the central part of the wheel that we saw before. What we've done on this, we've done a little bit of a specialist job, but a relatively easy one. We've taken this cone spanner and we've used that to loosen the bearings on either side there. And what that has allowed us to do is shift this axle pole. So usually you'd have your axle would be equal on either side, but obviously here we've shifted it so the bulk of it's there. And what that allows us to do is simply slot him through there and use the bolt to do it up. The next job is your spokes. So these spokes again have been cut using an angle grinder from the central part of the wheel, and then we've bolt cropped them down to size. What's important with this job is that they're measured. So the longest one here is 16, you've got one that's 15, you've got one that's 14, you've got one that's 13. And that's important because it ensures that there's a tonality between each of the spokes, there's a pattern, there's a relationship of a descent of 1 centimetre between each one. So these pop through the back side here, as so, and then you're going to want to, this is why it's best to leave the axle not completely tightened. You spin it round, you flip it over, and then you can just finger tighten that again. The next job is going to be taking your bolts. So we've got 2 bolts there, they're 16 centimetres in length, and they're 6mm bolts. And what we'll do with those is we'll slot those simply up through your holes. Then you've got the nuts on the other side, just put your nuts to one side for now. And we'll pop him on one side. Next piece, this is the first part of your bridge. The second thing you'll need for your bridge will be this piece of rim that we saw before. So again, that's just part of the outside part of a bicycle wheel that's been cut out. It's about 12 centimetres from the back corners. And again, it's been cut and it's been filed and sanded down because you can get some quite sharp edges, so be careful of that. Again, it's been drilled out. These holes fit screws that will pop through. So again, you need to just check the diameter of your screws against your drill bit. Now, at this stage, each instrument is a kind of a bit of a specific job that does need to be done. That's to do with the relationship between the height of the hub and the height of this part here, these 2 parts combined. So I'll just show you, it's quite a simple measuring job basically. And we kind of needed to do is you take your tape measure, there you go, and then you measure up to the top here, this top part of the hub here. So you measure that, that's about 9.6 centimetres, something like that. So then what you need to do, you'd measure the height of your hub. That's about that's about 2.6 and a bit. So then you take that away from 9.6, leaving you with 7 centimetres. So then hopefully, if the maths is right, oh it is, brilliant. You would then measure against your piece of wood from your plank to 7 centimetres, cut that out. And what that allows for is the height of the bridge to be accurate, so your spokes can pass through comfortably. So once you've done that, that's a little bit of maths for you. Okay, you're just going to line them up. We found it was easier to pre-drill little holes to feed your screws in as well. Then you need your screwdriver, that's Phillips crosshead screwdriver. Then you want to stick your bolts through. Now you can at this stage just do a little bit of a check to help you get going with it. As we were saying before, the spokes are cut a centimetre different. So what you need to do now at this stage, this can just be roughly because you can adjust it, is if you measure the longest spoke, so it's roughly, the bridge is roughly 8 centimetres from the point of contact where it touches the bridge to the end of the spokes, roughly 8 centimetres. Okay, so the next part is again a piece of rim, similarly fabricated to about 12 centimetres, but this one's been drilled all the way through. Again, that's a power drill jobby, and then you're filing around because it kicks up a few sharp edges. So you pop this over the tops of your bolts, and you take your nuts. Again, just finger tighten to start with, those down. The idea being as they get tighter, you get a more and more resonant note. So the minute you can hear they're still a little bit rattly. Give them a couple of turns. So there you go, you have it. One completed thumb piano.